What's going on, YouTube family? This is your man Pristine, back with another video. Here today, ladies and gentlemen, I got something new by the company called NUU. What you talking about, Pristine? I'm so glad you asked. Here before you, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the NUU B40 5G. Now, NUU as in N-U-U, not N-E-U. Now, if you're not aware, NUU is a company that has been flying under the radar for some time now, and they've specialized in budget devices. They made some mid-range devices that were really good. There's actually a budget device that I reviewed from theirs. It was about 6.5, maybe 7 years ago. It was a while ago. It was called the NUU Mobile G3, and that phone was like $199 or something like that. And I swear to you that that phone at that time was probably one of the best budget bang for your buck devices that you could have gotten your hands on. So it only makes sense that all these years later that I spin the block and run it back with NUU's latest and greatest, the B40 5G. Now, just in case you are completely unfamiliar with NUU, let me give you a little bit of history real quick. This is from NUU's website, and this is our story. Just to familiarize you guys, if you're not hip to who NUU is, okay? Headquartered in Dallas, Texas, NUU is proud to be recognized as one of America's fastest growing private companies in the Inc. 5000 list from 2022 to 2024. The name NUU, N-U-U, was carefully chosen to embody newness, innovation, and simplicity, values that are at the heart of everything we do. Easy to say and effortless to understand, NUU represents our commitment to embracing the future and pushing boundaries to bring you the latest in mobile technology. Okay? So, like I said, maybe there's a lot of you that aren't really familiar with NUU, but they've been around for a while putting in some work in the game. So, NUU was kind enough to send out the NUU B40 5G here for me to check out and share with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the NUU B40 5G. Now, real quick, let's start off with the unboxing really quickly. Let's do things a little differently. Gonna go ahead and unbox this thing for you, and we'll see what we got here. Okay, so we got the device here. Okay, beautiful looking device there. Shout out to my man Michael Myers. They're my favorite protagonist in horror movies. You see, we've got the little secondary display back there that's right next to the cameras. We'll talk a little bit about that here later on in the video. Okay, now when we open up the rest of the stuff, okay, we have a case. A little bumper case. That's welcome. We've got a Type-C to Type-C charging cable. We've got a charging brick in the box. I believe this is a 30, it's either a 30 or a 33 watt charging brick in the box. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, we have some literature here. Getting started with your NUU B40. We got some NUU stickers here. And then we've got another little sticker that just has the IMEI number, the model number, the serial number, all that type of stuff. Okay. Did I mention, ladies and gentlemen, that this package altogether is $299? Yeah, $299. And you are getting everything that you are going to need in a box. In a world in 2025 where we're paying $1,000 plus for devices and all we're getting is the device and some literature, quick start guide, warranty information, all that type of thing. We're not even getting a SIM tool because a lot of these phones are transitioning from nano SIMs to eSIM. And a lot of them are only eSIM now, which kind of sucks because this particular device is a dual nano SIM device. And so it basically forces me to go and get physical SIMs if I want to be able to slap one of my SIM cards in this device. Now, speaking of SIM cards for this particular device, this device is going to be mostly compatible with T-Mobile, AT&T, as well, basically just GSM networks. If you want to put a Verizon SIM card in here, you are able to do so, but you're going to have limited functionality because the phone doesn't have the capability to connect to all of the Verizon bands. But under the GSM networks, you do have a variation of 5G and 4G networks that it supports. T-Mobile for sure, AT&T for sure, other GSM networks, Metro PCS, Cricket Wireless, all that kind of thing. If it's a CDMA carrier, again, it will work, but you may have limited functionality because of the fact that the phone is mostly compatible with GSM networks. All right. Now, really quickly, as you can see there, we've got always on display there, which is very, very welcoming. You see, we've got our under the display fingerprint sensor right there that works 100% of the time. Now, I noticed it's not the fastest fingerprint sensor. It's definitely one of those fingerprint sensors where when you tap it, you see there's a response. It knows that you're tapping it, but you have to really make sure that your thumb is in the right place in order for it to open completely. Okay, so you see that. And there you go. Okay, for accuracy. We also have facial recognition as well. We do not have the double tap to wake the display or double tap to put the display to sleep, but we do have the option while the phone is on a flat surface. If you pick it up, it'll turn on the screen. And once it recognizes your face, like I just demonstrated, then the phone will unlock. I'll do that again, for accuracy. Lay it down, pick it up. Boom, and it just opens up just like that. Works 100% of the time. Now, as far as the specifications for this device, we've got a 6.8-inch corner-to-corner. This is a Full HD Plus AMOLED 120 refresh rate display. And then on the rear of the device, we've got a very interesting 1.6-inch secondary AMOLED display. NUU is calling this the Vista Display. And what the Vista Display is just another screen that sits right to the right of the cameras that provides you with useful information. If you need to, have your phone on silent, if you're in a meeting or something and you have your phone face down, what the Vista Display is going to do is it's going to be able to show you notifications. You can, accept and reject phone calls. If you're listening to music, if you're listening to a supported music platforms, say like Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music, such platforms like that, then you're going to be able to change the track. As you can see there, it says music. Okay. You're going to be able to change the track, pause the track, go to your previous track. We also can access the camera. And this is, gotta unlock the device here. This is very helpful because what it does is it gives us the ability to access the camera and take selfies with the primary camera, that's a big deal. That's a big deal because you're talking about seriously increasing, the picture quality for your selfies. Not to say that the selfie camera is bad in itself, it's not, but if you have the ability to take selfies with the primary camera, why not? Okay, and then here we've got a compass, and I believe under the settings there are other things that you can change about the Vista Display. As you can see, I've got this little analog clock going right there. Very nice. Now, interestingly enough as well, the Vista Display has the double tap feature to put it to sleep and the double tap feature to awaken it. I would have liked to have seen that on the front of the device as well, because I've just got that feature on so many of my other devices. That would have been a nice deal. But I mean, overall, for what this device is, I think that it's a very compelling package. Let me run down a spec list really quickly. Again, I just talked very briefly about the displays. Just a quick reminder, 6.8-inch AMOLED display, corner to corner, 120 hertz refresh rate. We do have always on display, which I've already displayed there. Now, the internal specifications, we got the MediaTek Dimensity 725 SoC chip. This is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 equivalent. which is not bad at all because the 6th Gen 1 was a very powerful mid-range device, very power efficient, good power as far as being able to game and stuff like that. Now, you can game on this device, but if you're playing more graphically intense games, then you may need to scale the settings down a bit, just to not run into some of the issues with buffering and latency and all that type of thing. But you definitely can game on this device for a fact. Okay. But just the more graphically intense games that you may want to play, you may have to tone the settings down a little bit to get that fluid gameplay that you're used to. But I mean, as far as like web browsing and things of that nature, yeah, the MediaTek is definitely going to stand tried and true and deliver a very seamless experience as far as your web browsing needs are concerned. Now, we have a 2.6 gigahertz Octa-Core processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, running Android 15 out of the box. Now, as far as updates, we will get quarterly updates, security patches, and things of that nature. I'm not entirely sure about software updates and how frequently those will come. I have to get more information from NUU on that, but make sure that you're subscribed to the channel because I'll have more information about that when I publish the full pristine review after just some real world usage and real testing with this device. Okay, now with the camera, we've got a 64 megapixel main camera. We've got a 2 megapixel macro lens. And again, on the front of the camera, the selfie snapper, we've got a 16 megapixel selfie shooter. Okay, now, as far as the battery is concerned, we've got a 5,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery. Let me go ahead and change the screen timeout. Okay, put that on 10 minutes so that the device will not go to sleep. And I like the fact here, screen attention prevents your screen from turning off if you're looking at it. Very, very useful feature there. But yes, we've got a 5,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery, Type-C charging port, of course, 33-watt fast charger that comes in the box, which is unheard of. And so Apple, Samsung, Sony, Google, Motorola, you guys line up and take notes from NUU, okay? Because they're giving us a package at $300 with everything inclusive in the box. Nobody else is really doing that. I mean, so that alone is compelling in itself. Okay, now the colors that we've got gray. That's what the color is stated on the rear of the device, but this device looks to me more like a blue color. We do have, let's see, this kind of feels like a matte finish. I'm not entirely sure if this is plastic. I believe the front display is like a Dragon Trail material glass, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. So yeah, don't quote me on that, but I'll have some certainties during the full pristine review. Additional features, again, the Vista Display, as I just recently mentioned. We've got the waterfall display here where you see we have the display curved on the left and the right side of the device. I'm really a huge fan of that particular orientation. Some people prefer flat surfaces and then, the edges are squared off. Me, I have really small hands, and so the more the device is curved, the more I can wield and handle the phone with one hand. Again, a big 6.8-inch display. It's a tall phone, you know what I mean? But the aspect ratio is kind of thin. I believe this is a 19:9 aspect ratio, if I'm not mistaken. But it just has a really good feel. It kind of has that Moto Edge Plus feel. And I'm a huge fan of that device. Also, there was like the ZTE Axon. I can't remember which one it was, but it also had that waterfall display. It just kind of had like similar construction. Felt really good in the hand. And so this phone is definitely, it has a premium feel to it. Again, we've got the under the display fingerprint sensor, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, and we also have features like Magic Eraser under the camera. And so speaking of camera, we will pop into that really quickly. If you're familiar with Android devices, I mean, typical Android shenanigans, Android 15 here. Again, we do have that higher refresh rate. If you want to change the refresh rate, here are the options here. We have screen refresh rate. We have dynamic, which is set by default. We have highest, high, and then standard. Okay, each one of these is going to give you different refresh rates all the way down to 60 hertz, which I would not recommend you keep it on because once you go higher refresh rate, it's hard to go back from that. Okay, but dynamic is going to give you a balanced smoothness and battery life with a max refresh rate of 90 hertz. Highest is refresh rate up to 120 hertz for highly smooth visuals, but it uses more power. High refreshes at up to 90 hertz for highly smooth visuals, also uses more power. And then standard, save power by limiting the refresh rate to 60 hertz, which again, things are going to look very choppy. They're not really all going to be smooth or responsive. So here on dynamic, as you can see, as I'm scrolling, it is effortless. Things are responding very smooth to the touch. Okay, go to my Google Now feed. You see things are just flowing nice and smooth. And so performance is stellar out of the box, as it should be. All right, we will go to YouTube and open that up really quickly. Okay. And as you can see, as the content loads up, I mean, it just blows right through it like a hot knife through butter. Old school vintage term that us reviewers or influencers, whatever you refer to us as, reference to how smooth things are functioning and responsive to the touch and all that kind of thing. We'll pop into Spotify really quickly, just doing a quick performance check just to see how quickly it opens up some of these real data heavy, applications where I've just got tons and tons and tons of music files, and you see it just open that up with not a problem at all whatsoever. We'll pop into YouTube Music as well. Those of you that follow my channel know that I'm a huge music buff, you know what I mean? So I've got tons of playlists and files on both Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and also Epidemic Sound as well. Epidemic Sound being one of my favorites. All right. And so, yeah, we swipe up and we'll see that everything is held very well in the RAM. We'll go back to Spotify there, and it's held right there without having to reload. We go to YouTube Music, same thing. It's still there without having to reload. And so, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, performance is an absolute breeze thus far on the new B40 5G. Now, obviously, what the tail of the tape is going to be is the test of time, right? How well will this device work, in 3 to 6 months from now? And make sure that you're locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech, because I will be doing follow-up reviews on how this phone is doing after that amount of time on just continuous usage. All right. Now, again, popping into the camera really quickly, as you can see by default, we've got photo, portrait, pro video, pro mode, and we have more. Now, under more, we've got beauty, film, document correction, group photo, dual view video. Okay, that's capturing video with the selfie camera and the main camera lens at the same time. We've got AI emoji, GIF, sports, panorama, UHD, slow motion, and time lapse. Okay, now, if we go the other direction, we've got video and night mode. Okay. Now, in the viewfinder, or up at the top of the screen, rather, we've got auto flash, HDR, which the auto flash and the HDR is turned off by default. You can just tap on that to turn it on. Here we've got AI, and then we press this little button here to bring up a bunch of little filters here. That I'm not really interested in using. But, if you want to add filters to whatever photos that you take, then you certainly can do that by pressing the little icon there. Now, once we press the little arrow down, this is going to bring us to our settings in the camera. Here we've got picture size, leveler, which I do have a leveler enabled, location info, watermark, camera mode, or camera mute rather, touch shooting, self timer, grid lines, which I have grid lines enabled. So if it's blue, then that means that it's enabled. Video key feature, anti-flicker, long press, and custom. So when you go to custom, it's going to take you to function layout, more modes, select color, and camera sound. Okay, if you hit function layout, this is going to give you a list of all of the functions in the viewfinder. You can only have 6 listed, and so the list, the functions that you want to have under the 6 are going to be up here at the top 6. All the rest are going to hear on the bottom, which it says more items. And all you do is just click and drag down to more items, or if there's anything in more items that you would prefer to have in the viewfinder, then you would just long press it and move it up to home screen functions. And then you hit the little check, and then those are going to be what's displayed here in the viewfinder. Okay. And so, yeah, I've taken some really good photos with this device. Works really well. Obviously, lighting conditions are going to be a major factor in how photos look, but this phone actually did decent in low light situations as well. And so I have plenty of camera and video samples from this device in the full pristine review. The other thing that I want to talk briefly about too is we're living in a day and age now where most devices have dual stereo speakers. I noticed that the new B45G here only has one bottom firing speaker, but it is a very loud bottom firing speaker. And so if you're not the type of person to listen to audio or content on the device speaker, say if you've always got a set of earbuds, Bluetooth, like I do, or you have your phone constantly paired to like a Bluetooth speaker, then you've got nothing to worry about. But if you are the type to like set your phone in a corner and listen to music and just let the sound from the speakers kind of bounce and radiate off the walls to create a bigger sound, then you may be a little disappointed because of the fact that the B45G here does not have dual stereo speakers. Now that bottom firing speaker, it is super loud. It gets super loud. I've turned it all the way up. It doesn't get all that distorted at higher values, but there is a little bit of distortion, but it still sounds crisp, clear, and it actually is bassy as well, surprisingly. Okay, but we just don't have that dual stereo speaker sound. I mean, if you take your thumb and you put it over the bottom speaker grill, you're going to block out the sound completely. But again, if you move your thumb and you've got the volume turned all the way up, you are definitely going to be surprised by the level of volume in the overall sound that single speaker is able to kick out. Okay, so keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech for the full Pristine review, where I will be covering a lot of that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to call this video. I wanted to keep it to a minimum of like 10 minutes, and here we are. We're already running on 20 minutes. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so very much for allowing me to bend your ear about the new B45G. Again, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Hit that notification bell so that whenever my videos are published, you'll get notified and be one of the first to check out the content. Comment section is where I'm always chilling at. So if you've got any questions, comments, or feedback of any kind, please reach out to me in the comments. And as soon as I get a chance to read them and respond, I definitely will do that. The only thing that I ask is that we keep it respectful and let's talk tech respectfully. If we agree to disagree, then let's agree to disagree peacefully and respectfully. All right, that's all I asked. So, as always, you already know, please stay safe, get spiritually fit if you haven't done so already. And I'm your man, Pristine, bringing you the content. This is the new B45G. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.